Hi, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
I'm dressed up like a knitter. My days of dressing up are over. I had to dress up so much when the kids were little that I'm just over
Beyond
it.
Just I tried to find some black sheep ears because the white sheep just looked silly with my dark hair. Because, you know, you don't want to look silly in a costume or anything, right? But I couldn't find any black sheep ears. So I don't know. These are cat ears of a breed, I guess. Anyway. And I've got spiders in the studio. So, and kids knocking at my door, and my husband's at work, and all the lights are off upstairs and the kids are still knocking. So anyway, happy Halloween.
Anyway, Ross is here manning our door. Although we get, like, we've had some of the neighborhood kids. Oh, and I have to show this photo. I had a little pumpkin that dropped by.
Oh.
So, here we go. Just let me pull this one up. So this is, well, it's not Penelope's first Halloween. It's her second Halloween, but last year she was pretty young. So this is my son and Penelope, and my daughter-in-law Suzanne stopped by with Penelope, and she was pretty excited about putting chocolate bars in her little basket, even though she doesn't get to eat them.
No. Oh my gosh, that's cute. So cute.
So yeah. So that was cute to see her and have her stop by. So, but yeah, so we don't have a whole lot of kids in the area. So a lot of the little ones that we do know have already come and gone. And by the time it's like 7:15, 7:30, we don't usually get a whole lot more kids. So
we usually turn our light out at 8 o'clock. That's kind of because I figure at that point, the age group that I've bought candy for has come and gone, and I'm over it, and I'm ready to not answer the door anymore.
So
okay, so welcome to Knits and Pieces. We are a mostly knitting podcast.
Yeah, we are. We're not usually dressed up. I'm still not.
I'm Kelly. This is my friend.
I'm Noelle.
Whoops, wrong way. Noelle.
Wrong way.
And we are coming to you tonight from Southern Ontario in Canada. And
so, yeah, just welcome. If there are anybody that's joining us for the first time, a big welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay here in the Knit Chat Cafe. We get together once a week and we just, kind of discuss the week and what we've been up to, whether we've actually knit anything or not, and been anywhere, bought anything. So, but you're all welcome. This is our favorite night of the week, and we just love being here on Tuesdays. So
we do. So I also want to say thank you to anybody that has taken the time to watch our most recent podcast that I posted on Wednesday morning, I think it was, and it's had a lot of views. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed it. It was just a little recap of our trip last weekend to Rhinebeck. It was my first time. It was Noelle's second time, but you went many years ago. So it was kind of all new for you again. And we had a great time. If you couldn't tell from the video, if you've seen it, we had an awesome time. And the best part of it for me was the people, meeting people, knitting with people, running into old friends, meeting new friends. And honestly, that was like the very best part for me.
And let me tell you, I was exhausted all last week. I think I'm finally starting to, that was a whole lot of days with not a whole lot of sleep and no afternoon naps. So, but it was worth it. But it did take a bit to recover. I don't know. The older you get, the harder it is to recover from, even just getting back into like 4 days without exercising and then back into the exercising. So anyway, I feel like now I'm kind of
back in your groove.
Yes.
Back in your groove.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, so if you haven't had a chance and you want to watch it, we are in that video, we are giving away a couple of packs of the KnitChat Cafe cards. So I don't
5
have any
packs to be.
right here to show
I
you.
do.
Okay.
These are the little cards that, that Noelle came up with the sayings and that her daughter designed for us. There's 4 cards in there. I'll just show you a couple. I'm not going to open this package up, but this one says Miserina loves company. And this one I think is our favorite. Just a couple of hipsters. And they're little blank cards that knitters can send to other knitters. Because I guess if you weren't a knitter, you might not get this.
You might not get, although some of our husbands get it because we talk enough about knitting in that.
Absolutely.
And I already have some new ideas for next Rhinebeck.
Oh, good.
See, this is what keeps me up in the middle of the night and why I need a nap during the day. It seems like all the ideas come in the middle of the night and you're like, stop, I need to sleep. So.
Right? Just shut off that busy monkey brain.
I know. I actually had a nightmare last night. We were in New York, and for some reason or other, I come home. Don't know how I got home, but I came home, had to do something, and had to be back in time to get the train home from New York. And in the meantime, the yarn project I was working, every single ball was tangled. Well, I can't go to bed if I have to untangle yarn. So it's just, I was glad to wake up.
Yeah. There's a couple of people have mentioned in here after we talked about the cards. I guess Kevin and Ray were chatting about the cards. We saw Kevin and Ray at, we saw them at Rhinebeck too, but we saw them
Pick Up Every Stitch.
Pick Up Every Stitch was a yarn store. This was one of the pre-events before the event that we went to. Our friend Jenny knew about this and we stopped in, and there were, the store is beautiful and it was very full. Beautiful. And there were a lot of podcasters in there too. So it was kind of like a little mini meetup for some podcasters, but then there were just people stopping in to shop, and Moondrake Yarn was there and she had a pop-up shop, and she was just a lot of fun to meet and chat with too. Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So we usually start off with some admin, and I only had a couple of things this time. We've been talking in the last couple of weeks about different bind-ons, cast-ons, bind-offs. So someone had messaged me about this bind-off that Ankastrick does, and it is a bind-off. It's an alternate to the tubular or the sewn bind-off, but you don't have to sew it if you're doing it with your needles. So I took a look at the video. I haven't tried it. I took a look at the video. The finished result to me looks just like a sewn bind off or like a tubular bind off. But the benefit where I could see would be a big benefit is you don't have to pull off that long string of yarn that you do when you're sewing through.
Yes.
Because you're just doing it with your knitting. Now I am going to try it. So next time I have something that needs that type of a bind off, I'm going to try it. Now, the one thing that I read about it is that it's not quite as loose as a sewn bind off or a tubular bind off. So you do have to be mindful of keeping your stitches kind of loose while you do it.
Yes.
But so to me, the benefit is definitely because, when you're doing a hem or you're doing, let's say you're doing the border on a cardigan, right? Where you're going up and around and down and you're casting all that off doing a sewn bind off. Well, you're pulling off like yards and yards and yards of yarn that you have to pull through every stitch. Well, doing it this way, you're not doing that. You're just doing a cast off, but you get that same look. So I'm going to link it. It's by Ankastrick. I am going to link it in the show notes. And I am definitely going to give it a try. And I will certainly report back once I give it a try. But I thought it looked, from the video and looking at the finished result, it looked almost identical to me.
Perfect.
So I don't know if anybody here has tried it. Obviously, some viewer has tried it because they emailed us. But I don't know if anybody else has tried it. I will definitely add that link to the show notes. The show notes won't be up until tomorrow evening, just to let you know, because Jacqueline looks after our website and she works all day. So I send her the notes and they'll be up tomorrow night. Okay. I'm not sure, Becky, if it had a name, but if it does, I will put that in the show notes as well.
It's always nice to add tricks to our knitting bag too, right? It's always good to have new things at your fingertips that, you can do something a little differently.
Yep.
If you like. Yeah.
And like I said, I haven't tried it. I don't know how easy this one is to undo either, because I know when you do a sewn or a tubular bind off, it's kind of a pain if you have to go back and undo it. So we'll see if this one's any easier. Maybe I'll do a little test swatch before next week and see if this one's easier to undo.
Okay.
And just
Fair enough.
you can find out about it. Okay, that's my homework. A swatch.
A swatch. Oh no, not a dreadful swatch. Heavens.
Right. So
It's
I
like
will try that
worst
out,
thing for
and
you.
I'll show you the swatch that I do. Might be in chunky weight yarn, just so I get it done quickly. But okay, we just have a group at the door now. I don't know if you can hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then the second thing we had said, or we had talked a couple of weeks about different types of lights for your knitting. You know, we've talked about the neck light, but it's also good when you're knitting to have like a good light that's over you, especially if you're working an intricate pattern or color work where the colors are close, or dark yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So one knitting light that I know was popular was the BenQ, but it is quite expensive. Like I don't have one of those. It is quite expensive. So another viewer emailed me and she said a good option was an Outon, Outon, and it's about probably less than a third of the price of the BenQ. And then the one that I have is probably in the middle. Mine's an Ott light, but I will put the links to those various lights in the show notes too, so you can take a look for yourself and see what might work for you. Like if you need one. I know once I've got mine, I even have a portable one now that I take with me when I go anywhere, because old eyes need light. So,
or an extra pair of glasses on top of your glasses. Yes.
Or both.
Yes. I know. I have the light that I use. I actually got it from IKEA, and it's just very streamlined, but it's LED, so it's super bright and it's quite directional. So I can just point it like it just kind of arcs over, and it can point right into my hands. So it's really not affecting anybody else in the room.
Yeah.
And you know that BenQ light, I kind of kicking myself now because they reached out to us about a year ago. I don't think I even told you because it wasn't, and asked if we would like one to try out. But I don't know. I didn't realize that it was really like knitter friendly. I just kind of thought from the promotions that they had, it looked like a desk light. So I think I just declined to try that out for them.
Anyway, it is.
We should have.
I did look it up. It was quite expensive. So
it was quite expensive. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I'm like right at the moment, I'm happy with the one I have. It does. And the little portable one that I just got at Costco, and it was only like about $35. And it is perfect. It was invaluable when we went out east, because a lot of the places that we stayed in, you're in more of a secluded area. So even with even with daylight, the light's not that bright. Like it's nice just to have that extra.
Even hotel rooms, when you're traveling, sometimes the hotel rooms just, they're not conducive to like good lighting situations. So it's always nice to have that, and a portable one. That's the way to go.
Yeah. And then the last thing is Unit Toronto reached out, and they are having another knit along for the latest sweater. So they've offered us a code for 50% off. And this is for the Violetta. I think it's Violetta sweater, but I've got a picture. I just got to find it. Okay, so this is one of Claudia's latest patterns, and it is the Violetta pullover by Unit Toronto, and they've given us a code for 50% off. So the code is knits and Violetta, and again, I will also put that in the show notes. Now, the knit along starts on November 17th. We are not doing a knit along. Unit Toronto is doing a knit along, but they're going to have prizes along the way, and they have prizes at the end. So right at the moment, they're offering the discount code for 50% off for our podcast until the end of January. So even if you want to join in later, you can actually join in later. So the code is good from now till the end of January for 50% off that pattern. The pattern has various options in it. It can be knit. The pattern gives you instructions to knit it either top down or bottom up. There's also different options for the neck. There's a rolled neck. There's a straight neck. There was 3 different options, I think, for the neck. And you can see the lace detail on it goes both down the front and down the back. And the pattern. A 22 stitch. So you could either do it like in a DK weight yarn, or you could do it with the fingering and a mohair held together. And right now on their site, they are offering kits for 20% off. So it's a gorgeous sweater. I actually wish I had time to knit it, but I have too many other things that I've got on the go and test knits that I'm doing that I just at the moment don't have time. But in order to participate in one of their knit alongs, you do have to sign up. So again, in the show notes, I will put the link to the Ravelry group where you can actually go in and sign up to do it if you're interested. So, and I know in their last ones, they've had quite good prizes. So, you know, if you are going to knit it anyway, you might as well enter the knit along. Okay. And I think that's pretty much all I have as far as admin. Did you have anything, Kelly?
No.
Okay. So,
well, you know what? Maybe I do want to say, anything that we have given away up to this point has now been mailed out, because I did get an email from a viewer that was waiting on a prize. Everything was mailed out before we went to Rhinebeck. But then this week I mailed out the cards from last week and also the mitten kits. So if you were the recipient of either of those, they are on their way.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so maybe we should talk about what we are wearing.
Okay.
Not the same thing today.
Not even remotely.
Well, they do both have mohair in them.
Okay, but that's like a reach.
I'm stretching. Okay,
You're stretching. It's just a little bit of a stretch. Yeah. You know what? You go first, because I don't think I even knew what I was wearing, and I didn't bring a better picture in. I'll go look for that.
Okay. I am wearing the Elton cardigan by Joji Locatelli. And this is done in Chelsea Yarns. It doesn't look like I did a banner for the pullover name. Oh, well, anyway, it's done in Chelsea Yarns. They're singles and they're mohair silk, and the color is pink peony. And I love this sweater. It's so light, yet it's got quite a bit of warmth in it. I just have these little buttons that kind of match some of the little flecks that are in the yarn. So the pattern is basically stripes of both I think it was the singles and the mohair, both in the same color, but because they're different weights, you get the texture look, like the different texture in the stripes. It's just a drop sleeve. So it just goes here and then you pick up and knit down for your sleeves. I know I always say it, but I would knit another one of these. I would actually like to knit another. I know she's got the pullover out now too. I would actually like to knit a pullover one, because this only took, in my size, there was one skein of the mohair, which was a 50-gram skein of mohair, and two of the singles. And even in the singles, I probably still had about 30 grams left in one of the singles. But really nice, because it's nice and lightweight. You can wear it open. You can wear it closed, almost like just like a sweater that way. I do have a camisole underneath, but I'd probably wear it with just my bra underneath.
Well, I was just going to say,
see-through.
Okay, so I've seen a lot of people wear it as a cardigan, but I really like the way you're wearing it right now as a sweater, just completely buttoned up as a cardigan. Often when we wear cardigans, we're sort of thinking about what can we wear underneath it. It's either going over top of a dress or a different style shirt or something like that. But I don't think sometimes we give thought that we can just wear a cardigan as a sweater, as a pullover too. And I really do like the way that looks on you tonight. Yeah.
Well, and I do think you also see people sometimes wearing their cardigans backwards, so the buttons go down the back.
I have done that too. Yes.
Now, I would try it. The only thing is sometimes if the high-low from the back is different, then you're going to feel like it riding up here, right? But you don't know until you try it on. And it is kind of a cool look with the buttons going down the back.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't definitely, it looks good with a V-neck cardigan too, right? Because then you get the V going down the back. But anyway, just a thought, get more looks out of your garments. So
Lena is saying, do you think a first time I think maybe what she means is, can a newer knitter knit that sweater on a difficulty rating? What did you think?
It's a while since I knit it, but there's no hard stitch. Oh, the only stitch pattern in it is like so many rows of your singles yarn and then so many rows of your mohair yarn. I would say you probably might want to be familiar with working with mohair, because a lot of people don't like to knit with a single mohair.
By itself, yes.
By itself. So if you haven't done a whole lot of other knitting, it might be better to do something where you're not doing a single mohair by itself first, and then do something like this.
Try swatch. See if you like knitting with mohair by itself. Yes.
Yeah, but there's not a whole lot of complicated shaping or anything in this. I
No,
think you
pretty
start out,
straightforward.
I think you might have to do the back though and then pick up shoulders and knit down.
Okay.
So I still think overall for a first sweater, a round yoked pullover is still probably the easiest. But there's nothing hard. If you make a mistake, you can just rip back. You're not steeking it, like you're not cutting yarn or anything.
No.
So,
No.
if you really want it, try it.
Was that do you remember, is that did you knit no, you didn't. The button band was picked up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So Kelly, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing the Cozy Classic Raglan. I went in looking for a picture, and you know what? I just cleaned up my desktop this week, and a really good picture was on the desktop, and now it isn't. So anyway, by Jessie Made Designs. It's a crop sweater. You can see it's cropped. And this one was knit using actually, they're still sitting here. Don't know why, but it's Leo and Roxy.
Picture's gone, but the yarn's still here.
Gone, but the yarn's still sitting here waiting for somebody to do something with it. So it was what did they call this? Just marled? Fingering marled?
Yeah, marled sock yarn.
So this is the colorway Straw into Gold, which I think I now have knit that color in every single base they've ever put it on, or I just keep buying it anyway. And then the mohair that they have, which was called Butter. Was it Butter? Buttercup? Buttercup. Yep. And it's just interesting. I think this is why I kept it. Like when you look at these two yarns together, I would have thought, like from first look, that this is definitely too bright of a yellow. But I mean, look at the way it turns out. It's perfect. I love it. I really love it.
When you add mohair, you really don't know what it's going to do till you
really
actually do a swatch with it.
It's like some crazy magic that happens when you pair mohair with another yarn.
Yep.
And it's just a guess. It's a best guess. Yep. But anyway, I really like this. It has some nice shaping details to it, like very simple. It's just a simple line of stitch that goes down the raglan. I like that detail. It's a very comfortable neckline. Yeah. The sweater is a nice weight. I was thinking, okay, funny little story, because this is how, I don't know, I obviously just changed my mind from day to day. So I had been talking with you and even Jolynn, and I was wondering if she had dyed any more of that, because I was actually thinking of taking the ribbing out on this and making this a longer sweater, because I had knitted a crop to wear with dresses. And when I wore it the first time, or the first couple of times, I felt like it was just kind of too thick, too bulky to wear with a dress. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to turn it into something longer so that I can wear it with jeans. So I put it on today, and I don't feel like it's too bulky at all. So I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't know.
I literally don't know what goes through my mind sometimes. Anyway, so now, yeah, I totally don't want to change it at all. I just want to wear it the way it is. So there's that.
Okay. Oh, you could just knit another one.
I can knit another one, but I really like this. I don't know what I was thinking. In my mind, it was like some thick, heavyweight sweater, and it's honestly not.
Maybe just had it on a day that was too warm for it.
Maybe. I don't know. So I don't know. Anyway, it's not going to get changed. I'm just leaving it the way it is. So
okay. So moving on. Moving on. Did you finish anything this week?
I did. I finished one thing. How many things did you finish?
3.
Okay, well then you get to start.
Okay. The first thing I finished was a hat. And here it is.
It's so pretty.
So this is the Worcester hat. And this is actually the pattern. It's a pattern by Kelborn Woolens. It's by Courtney Kelly. So in her original pattern, she just has it done. It's a bulky weight yarn, but she just has it done in a single color. So you can see how the stitches kind of spiral. But I decided to do it in, and I've got some pictures here, just a minute, where I actually have it on. So I just did it in one skein of Spin Cycle Plump. Is it Plump? Yeah, it's Plump, right? The name of it?
Yes.
And
yeah.
I used almost all of the yarn. So this is like what the Plump looks like. So it's a Spin Cycle yarn they don't give a yarn weight. It just says it's around 100 yards. So I would say it's a chunky weight. Like, it worked out perfect to the gauge in this pattern. Like, I didn't make any modifications whatsoever in the pattern. And so one skein, this is what I had left of one skein.
Oh, okay.
Very little. So it worked out perfectly. This color is called Midsummer and Midsummer. And it's a perfect, chunky, warm hat. Like, it's perfect. It's I love how it feels when it's on, and I love the pom-pom. So the pom-pom is a Love a Fur pom-pom, and my pom-pom is just, this one has strings on it, and I've just put a button in there and tied the strings through. So that pom-pom can come off to wash it. That pom-pom can go off and it can go on another hat. So you can kind of move it around. And the yarn and the pom-pom were a gift at Rhinebeck from some really special friends. So I'm happy to have this hat to wear. And the weather's certainly getting cold enough to start wearing.
It definitely
hats.
is. It definitely is.
And
So
Kelly, you last week had your little, I had some. I didn't even realize I had some. So this is my little tag. This one just has a little yarn ball on it, and it says handmade, and it's put on with a screw-on rivet, so you can take it off and take the tag off before you wash the hat and then put it back on, or you can move it to other hats.
yes.
So these are by, I actually bought these at La Violette Yarn and Gift when I was there, but they are by Brick Bubble. And so today I went on and I ordered some tags from Brick Bubble that have a yarn ball on it and my initials.
Very nice. Very nice.
So then I went on to Amazon and ordered all the little grommets.
The little, yeah.
Yep. In different colors, like in the pack that I got, there's 160 of them, and they come in gold, silver, brass, black. Because why buy one when you can buy 160?
I seem to recall somebody saying to me, was it 2 weeks ago, Kelly, how many hats can you knit? Oh, I don't know, maybe 160
Kelly,
now if you have that many grommets.
That's not going to go on just hats. That'll go on a sweater and a shawl and everything. So I'm just going to put Brick Bubble up there. Because if you go, like, you can pick out if you go to get tags made, you can pick out your color, your size. You can get ones that you sew on. You can pick out the little design that you want. You can actually custom make them yourself. That'll cost a little bit more money, but I just think they really finish it off.
I know. I love that little one that I put on my hat.
As a gift. Yeah.
I love that.
Anyway, love the hat. Love that it used the entire skein. It's so satisfying when a project uses the entire skein of yarn.
It is.
And I'm very, very happy with that hat. So, and hats are so much fun to knit, and they don't take that much time, and you've got a finished object. And
yes.
Yeah. And I always find for here, it's always good to have a bunch of them, because sometimes the kids come over and they don't have a hat with them and they want to be outside and it's cold. And I find that hats don't have to be that specific. Like, as long as the kids are not babies, they're kind of unisex. They can kind of fit any size on any. But
thank you, Becky. Becky's in my corner. She remembers you saying that.
Yeah, but that's not just for hats. I told you.
I know. Well, no, we'll just, okay. Yeah. Before we leave that hat, I was going to show this later because I hadn't unpacked my suitcases completely last week. And this is the skein of the Spin Cycle Plump that I was gifted. I love this.
Gorgeous.
I absolutely love it. And this is the big bad pom-pom to go with it. It's going to be such a pretty. So now I have to find a hat too, because this is totally a hat for sure. And I love the colors in here. Just look at those colors. That's going to be so much fun. So now I just have to find a pattern. This one's called Rosy Maple. Can you imagine? Rosy Maple. Now, normally I like something that's got a really wide brim. I know I'm not going to get that with this out of 100 yards. So I'm just going to have to suck it up and see what I can do with it for sure.
It's almost, that yarn's so thick, like to have a double brim on that would almost be too much.
Maybe. So, well, I don't know. I do like a big brim, but anyway, I think maybe I'm just getting more used to the hats too. Yeah.
And I don't wear hats all that often either. Like, but like it's cold out there. Sometimes you need something. I need something covering my ears for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
well, that's why I like the, I do a lot of those headbands, right? But anyway. Okay. My finish. I finished my Breton shawl. It's not blocked, but I don't think it needs to be. I'm not going to block it. Look at this
ooh,
thing.
I love the colors.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It is like the squishiest thing ever. I'll just put it on like this. It does match my coat too, because my coat is gold for winter. So I'll just put that on there for now while I talk about it. I used the Big Birdie yarn by the Lamb and Kid, and this was my gold. I have all of this left, so I'm pretty confident this is going to be a hat to go with. And then I had this much of the blue left, the 2 skeins. So it was 2 skeins of the blue, 1 of these. Hardly used any of these or this.
Did you weigh the blue that you have left?
No, but my scale happens to be sitting here, so I'll turn it on and we'll get an answer in a second. I'm sure I could get a couple of stripes out of it, just to do like maybe the edge of the hat or something. What do I have left? I have 18.5 grams of the blue and 73 grams left of this. So that's nearly 100 grams. I'm pretty confident I can squeak a hat out of that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I think it'll be good. But this yarn, and again, I don't have the ball band with me. Do you remember what the composition of this yarn is besides fluffy cloud soft?
It's alpaca, and I thought it was alpaca and silk, but I could be wrong.
Maybe Julia can let us know. It was Julia that got me started on this yarn. She came into the coffee shop one day wearing this lavender poofy cowl, and I just went, oh my gosh, what is that yarn? And
Ellie said it's 100% cloud.
100% cloud. Yeah, exactly. And we don't have, I mean, it's something I would have to order online. So when we were in Rhinebeck last weekend, we had a chance to go to the Lamb and Kid booth. They were at Woolen Folk, and I got this. And excuse me, the pattern is also by the Lamb and Kid Designs. And most, if not all, of their patterns are free. And they publish patterns to, to go along with their yarn offerings. But this is gorgeous. I know this is going to get a ton of wear. It's alpaca and silk.
Yeah, alpaca and silk. That's what I thought. I think it's more alpaca.
I think so too.
It's like a thicker version of like when you buy a Surrey silk that's kind of like that you can use in place of a mohair. And it's Big Birdie because they have Birdie, which I think is like your single, more like 328 yards in 100 grams. I think this one is like under 200 in 100 grams. So it's a lot thicker.
Yes. So it's super, super cozy. And you had asked me when I was working on this, does it shed the way mohair does? No, it does not.
Okay.
I barely had any of this fiber on me when I was knitting it, and it's super quick. I knit this on 10.5 needles, which is 6.5 millimeter Canadian. Yeah. So that's our Canadian measurement. So it really didn't take that much time to knit at all, and I'm super thrilled with it.
Yes, it's 79% alpaca, 21% silk.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can see like the loft of it, and there are like the little alpaca guard hairs that I see sort of sticking up from it too, but they're not, it's not picky in any way. It's just completely a soft, cozy dream. This would also be the nice kind of shawl to sort of keep on your, like on the back of your sofa, just to kind of cozy up with too. This would be a great winter travel shawl. If you have to go on an airplane, because I like to use these as lap blankets too when I travel with them, just to stay cozy. I find my feet often get colder on an airplane, or feet and legs, than the rest of me. So it's just nice to have something cozy. But I would buy this yarn again in a heartbeat. There's quite a few projects out there with it. And I know you bought some and you're making a sweater with yours.
Yep. Yep.
So,
And someone just said here that they're making the Weekender out of Big Birdie. So if you're
yes.
making a sweater, it would definitely be a quick sweater to knit up, because I know Kelly's was on a 6.5 millimeter needle, but I think the sweater pattern, and it is one of their sweater patterns, it's called Fancy. I
Mm-hmm.
believe it's on a 5.5. So the gauge just might be a little bit tighter than what it is in the shawl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they had a sweater sample at the booth and I tried it on and I didn't want to take it off. It just felt amazing. So, but okay, so I have a couple more finished objects. So the next one is another hat, and it is the Pixie Twist hat. So the Pixie Twist hat by Michelle Meadows, who is the owner of the Muskoka Yarn Connection up in Bracebridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I had picked up a kit to do this when I was up there in the summer with Jacqueline and her family. So this hat is totally different in the fact that the fabric is so much lighter. So it would be almost a good hat for this time of year where it's not quite as cold and you don't want the really heavy warmth of the chunky yarn. So this is done with a mohair held with some minis. And the minis that, first of all, I'll show you her picture of the hat. So there's kind of what it looks like. It's got this really pretty, just easy little detail. And then you're switching different little, and they're not even minis. They're like, I don't know, piccolos or piquettes or something, little wee tiny things. So I used six different ones, and that's how it was packaged. And then I do have a picture of having it on, and it's a totally different look than the other hat because of the slouch at the back. Now I did that because I wanted to use all the yarn that I had. I wanted to make sure, again, that I had none left. So this hat, let me just give you a picture of it was these little tiny mini skeins from Richard DeVries. So they are called, this is his Pepino yarn, and the little skeins are only 25 yards each. So this kit for the adult size came with six of those little mini skeins. I thought it was all 6 different colors, but when I went and put the color names in on Ravelry, there were 2 that were the same, although we know that even the same yarn can look different depending on the dye lot that it comes from. So I just kind of used each one and just switched out. Every time I ended one, I just started the next one. And then my end was done with, it almost looks like blue at the end there, but again, it's looking more blue there. But there's a lot of purples in it.
Purple in there too, yeah.
But when you hold it with the blue mohair, because that was the mohair that I held it with, then it kind of tones everything down and brings it all together.
Yeah, it makes everything sort of like a watercolor.
15 grams of the mohair. This was a 25-gram skein of mohair, and the mohair was, let me just look it up here. The mohair was Diamond Bliss Divine, so it was 76% kid mohair, 24% silk, and then held with all the little skeins of the Richard DeVries. So this pattern, like you can get this pattern on Ravelry. You can buy just the hat pattern. I bought this at a kit at Inner Shop, and I will link the shop. But this would be a perfect way to use up leftover little bits of sock yarn.
And you know what?
Together,
especially when you're using leftover mohair. Everybody has little balls of mohair left over from a project.
So you could switch out. You could use one color of yarn and then just switch out your mohair every so many rows and use it up that way. But I thought, perfect gift. I really like the hat. This pom-pom, Kelly, I think I bought this pom-pom when I was with you at Country Yarns. And it is Once Upon a String.
Very nice.
Oops. Why does nothing ever want to focus for me?
I don't know. You must have your focus locked.
Anyway, whatever. This is Once Upon a String, and it was very cost effective. The pom-pom on the other one is a Love Fur pom-pom. So this one actually has snaps, but I still just tied it through because I haven't decided if I want to sew the snap on. I really like the idea of tying them on so that you can easily move them and don't have to sew anything onto your finished project. So
yes.
So that was fun. It's fun. I wasn't even planning on doing this, but I'm cleaning out my yarn room and I came across it the other day, like yesterday, and I thought I should knit this. So I did.
Or Was it really just that you came across that, or was it this comment? I like this, Haley. You're making up for last
No,
week.
no, it was not that. It was not that. I seriously was putting it away and I thought, I don't want to catalog that. I'll just knit it.
I know. It's quicker to knit it than to catalog it.
That's
But
right.
yeah, I'm all about the hat patterns right now. And you're right. They are. They're fun. They're quick to knit up. You don't get bored because just by the time you're getting into the pattern, the hat is over. So,
That's right.
And they're perfect little palette cleansers in between a bigger project. And they're also great for the gift knitting basket.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I have a whole drawer of gift knit stuff that's nice to have if somebody, unexpectedly you need a gift for someone. Like people can always use like hats, socks, mitts, like, and those things are so quick and easy to knit that I don't know. It was just fun. And like I said, that little tiny bit that I showed you was all the yarn. Like that was all the yarn I had left from the 6 little minis. So
perfect.
Okay. And then my last FO is my vest. So it is my Friday. I thought I put a picture in here.
I saw it. I'll go look. You talk.
Okay. It is the Friday Slipover by Petite Knit. And this was with yarn that I got it's Moondrake yarn that I got when we were at Pick Up Every Stitch, just before Rhinebeck. And this definitely, I know I always say I'm going to knit things again. This definitely will not be the last time I knit this. I love this vest. It's like just the perfect stitch texture, the details in it, the broken rib stitch. It just all comes together so easily and just so classic that I just think it's the perfect, like I would love to have one in a navy blue. So, and pink, but maybe navy blue first. So yeah, so
and I'm waiting on my yarn, but show that detail. My favorite part of it is the way
here's the vest. And yeah, so if you look even like at there you go, there's the underarm detail, like the shaping is just plays into each other so nice and clean. Same with around the neck edge, the way that these go
it
up
ends
here.
Up it looks so professionally done. Not that hand knits don't look professional, but this really looks tailored by the way those ribs go.
Okay. And I only had 2 skeins of this yarn.
But you were nervous. You were nervous.
Is what I had left. That is what I had left. That is it. That's all I had left of that yarn. I was nervous. When I first actually took it off and before I blocked it, it was a little tight, but I knew it would loosen up a little bit with blocking. So when I blocked it, and I don't normally ever do this, I hung it. So that, because I wanted a little bit more length, like I didn't want it to be too short. So I wanted a little bit more length. So I hung it to dry and it actually fits perfectly. If I knit another one, I'd want it exactly the same size. So this took me 2 full skeins. And I mean full, that was all of the yarn.
And now I'm getting nervous because
again, it's not going to focus is better back there. So this is Moondrake. It is a new base for them. It is a Cormo DK. So there's 265 yards and 100 grams. And it is non-superwash Cormo 3-ply. And this color is called Red Velvet. And this, I love this yarn. It's like rusticy, but not rusticy. Like it's not scratchy. It's just, I just love it. And I did alternate because I just would rather be sure that I'm okay. So I did alternate. I did have to modify the neck. The neck in the pattern is actually a fold over. I didn't have enough yarn to do that. So I just did. And you know what? I honestly don't really think it needs it.
No.
So I didn't do a fold over the neck. The sleeve bands are not fold over. So I just did them the way they're called for. I did a sewn bind off. If I was doing this again, I might try that new bind off.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but really, really happy with that. And this is the first vest I've knit, but it definitely won't be the last. And it was so nice not to have to go back.
The vest, I'm on to the vest. I love everything about a vest. Mostly I like that it doesn't add like thickness to your arms inside of a denim coat when you're wearing it. I love that it really shows off the shirt a little bit more, because often our sweaters are going to completely hide the shirt, and there's so many pretty shirts out there, right?
Well, that shirt that I had, I never wore it because it's like, it's
What do you
almost
wear it
like
with?
too much
Yeah.
in the summer because it's down here. And then it's almost not enough in the winter because it's a really light fabric and it's too cool. So now
Mhm.
with the vest over it, I think it'll be.
So I'm nervous now because I I'm trying to remember. I know you made the
But Kelly, you have
size one.
one more full skein.
Yes, I have. Yes, because I ordered yarn. They were out of the color that I wanted when we were at the yarn store. And so I ordered it, and I ordered 3 skeins based on what they had made the vest pattern there as the sample. And I tried it on and it fit perfectly. So I'm guessing it's going to be fine, but you were so nervous with your 2 skeins. And what was the size that they had knit up at the shop? Do
I
you
think
remember?
the
Was
two
it
knit up in the shop,
the
and
2?
that's one.
Okay. And yeah, and you knit the size 1. So I don't know. I hope it's going to be okay.
I think it should be fine. Like, 'cause like I said, like if I had another skein, well, you know what? I don't even know if, well, maybe I might have done the full neck. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and you said you
I
may have
probably
done it
would have.
ever a little bit longer, you said too, maybe.
Yeah, but
But
except that once I blocked it, it worked out fine.
yeah,
So anyway,
okay.
very happy with it. So
It's gorgeous. It's
yeah.
absolutely
And someone
gorgeous.
had asked what they thought would be a good first vest. I don't know if you go and look at like a lot of petite knit patterns, she does have a vest that's very similar to that, that doesn't have that stitch texture in it. So it would just be stocking stitch.
Her knits are very
Um,
classic.
yes. But some people do find some of her instructions are not necessarily the easiest if you haven't knit a lot before. So I don't know, does Tin Can Knits have any vest patterns? Because I know their instructions are usually really good for someone that's a first time knitter of something.
Mm, I'm not sure if they do or
But if
not.
you
I'm
go
not
in, but
sure.
if you look at the petite knit ones too, though, even if there's usually a lot of people that have done them, so if you have any trouble with any interpretation in the pattern, you can usually go to Ravelry and someone's got something they've said about it on how to. So, because I found on this one, it's not that the patterns, you just have to kind of like watch your stitches and know like
Mhm,
you're in
mhm.
that rib and you have to follow through with that pattern as opposed to like looking at what the pattern says as far as knit purl.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
anyway,
Yes. Yeah, maybe, Victoria, maybe you could look for something that's, if you're it's I don't know, the shaping, right? The shaping might throw somebody off a little bit. I did knit a vest last year that I wore the heck out of, and, it's the Always vest by Blue
bluebird box.
Bluebird Box, yes, and it has, like, a very nice detail down the side of it that I really like, and it came together really quickly, and it's a DK weight as well, and so I wear it a lot. I wear it with
Yeah.
dresses too. I'll just put it on over top of a long sleeve dress, and I like the way that it just feels good. It just feels, like, cozy to have a little extra something on there, but not over warm if you think you're gonna be in a spot where the sweater just might be too warm.
And there are some slipovers too that don't have the armhole detail shaping that just kind of come up, so you get a little bit of an overhang here. So the benefit of that being a first project is you're not going to have all the shaping in here. It's just
Yes,
kind of come
yes.
out, and you're going to pick up the. So for a first one, that might be something. And I think Petite Knits has the weekend slipover, which is kind of like that. And I also think it's done in
Stockholm,
yeah, and I do think they're done in heavier weight yarn, so you're going to
yeah,
finish it sooner and have
yes.
less like less stitches on your needle because it's a bigger gauge.
Mhm.
So, okay. So that's all I finished. So,
And Isabel pointed out too that Holst has a sale on right now. Thanks for pointing that out, Isabel, but I'm not biting. Holst has a 20% sale right now on Haya, and the Haya is amazing to knit with. I've only knit a Sophie scarf with it because I just bought a couple of balls just to kind of like test it and see what I felt about it. I wouldn't hesitate to do something else in it though. And so she got
see, I thought it was going to do a navy blue slipover. Now
Yes,
Isabel's
and
going to do
she
it
got
before
nightshade
me.
and carbon blue for a slipover. She says, "Thanks, Noelle, for making
Actually,
her do." That would look
I
really
have
good.
some tides in that carbon blue.
You do. There you go. See? You do. You do.
So, Okay, so what are you working on?
What am I working on? Well, okay. Talking about palette cleansers, I did something I had no business doing because I have sweaters to finish. I have lots of things to finish, but I can't help myself. And last night I decided, you know what? I'm just going to cast on a sweater for Miles. I don't know. It's a palette cleanser. It's chunky. It's fast. So I cast it on last night on your needles that I borrowed. I don't know why. I have my own, but they were there because I finished the shawl and they were still sitting there. So this is using the Shetland chunky tweed. And we got this, or I got this when we went to Mary Maxim's on our way out of the Woolstock weekend. Now, as a little background to this yarn, this was something that I knit a lot with when the kids were little, this very same yarn. And I had knit a little sweater set for my son Damon when he was 2. And when Kendall was here visiting a month ago, she went through some little boxes that I had kind of like tucked away for the kids. Well, she already has her little box, but Damon's little baby clothes are still here. And she took the sweater set out and she put it on Miles. And then she took it home to borrow it. Miles wears that sweater still and the hat to match. And it's 25 years old on this yarn. So that's truly, truly stands the test of time. And you can just wash this. You could throw this in the dryer, I dare say. And it was super reasonably priced. I think it was under $5 a ball. So I bought enough to do a cardigan and probably then some. So here's what I decided I would do. Originally, my intention was to send the yarn to Kendall because Kendall's learning to knit. And I thought this would be a good first sweater yarn for her. But then I thought, well, maybe that's putting a lot of pressure on her. So I'm going to knit the sweater and I'm going to send her a skein with the sweater and she's going to knit the hat because she's getting pretty good at knitting hats right now. So I cast this on last night and this is what I have so far. It's so cute. It's so freaking cute. Now I'll show you the actual picture of what I'm making. It's called the Baby Sophisticate.
Oh, yeah.
And probably, I don't know, over 1,000 people have made this sweater. So it comes together so fast. And it's just got this cute little shawl collar on it. Now, the pattern is free up to 12 months. And then she has gone in and actually written an extended pattern for 12 months. I think she said up to 10 years. 10, okay. I think she was going by an age group. So if you knit it as a baby and you really liked it for a baby and you wanted to keep knitting it, then it would be good value to buy the pattern. So what I did, since it doesn't call for this super chunky yarn. So I'm getting this, my stitch gauge is about 12 stitches over 4 inches. And I think the stitch gauge for the pattern was 16. So I'm doing the 12-month size and I'm getting big enough to fit a 2-year-old. So I had knit a couple of inches down under, or an inch under the arm last night. And I thought, you know what, maybe it does look like it could be a little bit wider because there was no casting on for stitches underneath because this was big enough. So I did pull those few rows back out and I cast on four stitches under each arm. And I think that gives me just enough width. It's going to finish out at about a 24-inch circumference. His chest measurement is 21. So I think that's more than enough, but it's such a pretty color and it has all of these fun and colorful neps in it.
Flex, yeah.
Yeah. So super affordable little project. Like I said, I've knit all of this with one skein. That's what I have left out of my one skein. And like I said, I had bought 4, probably 3 would have been more than enough with still a leftover for a hat. But anyway, that's what I cast on last night. No business casting on something new.
Okay, well, you? I am still working on this bright. This is the Wayworn by Melanie Berg.
I think we should call that one Glowworm. It's so bright.
You could call it Glowworm. It is bright. So this is the Wayworn by Melanie Berg. So I have added in the next color. So it's hard to get a look because that will all fill in along that edge. Like it's kind of go in on the diagonal, but you can see this part is textured.
Mm-hmm.
So you just keep going back and forth across and you're adding one more stitch into it. But now the rows are getting longer. And like I said, you're knitting with single mohair. I don't mind doing it, but it's time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
this is a big shawl.
Yes, it is.
Like but it weighs
Nothing.
So that I'm hoping to finish that up within the next week or so, but I only work on it in the morning because I work on it with my pajamas on because I'm covered in yellow fluff by the time I'm done. So once I'm dressed for the day, I don't want to get any more yellow fluff on me because I did have it all over me when we went to pick up every stitch because I knitted on the plane and I had a black dress on. Well, I glowed. So anyway, so that's one whip. And then I'm also working on the socks, which I think last time I just had the cuff done, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gotten farther. So I've gotten this much done on one of and I really do like this color.
It's so subtle. When you had it at the coffee shop, I really liked it. It looks brighter on camera than it does.
Yeah, it does. But this is kind of a version of the Moonlight Socks by Joji Locatelli. So they just have the pattern in the middle. Her original pattern has a rib going all the way around, but I didn't want to do that. I just kept the pattern in the middle, which makes it actually easy to keep track of your repeats and how many rows you've done. So I'm past the heel. So got to keep
would be a
working
nice
on socks
colorway to wear
done.
with this sweater.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But all of the colorways, when I get to them, it's kind of nice because you really don't know what they're actually going to look like till you start knitting them up. So.
Okay.
So that's.
I also. Oh, okay.
No. Go
and
ahead.
Then I don't know where my sock blocker is. I came down here tonight at the end and I can't find it. So I thought I had this finished. I thought I was going to show this sock as finished tonight, but I pulled it out of the bag and nope, I haven't done the toe yet. I haven't Finchley grafted the toe, but this is to make my arm into a sock blocker. Sorry for the needle clicking too, but this is the Merry Mint. No, not Merry Mint.
Oh, Merry and Bright.
Merry and Bright socks by Natalie. I should have put it on the other way. Sorry. And look at this. I love these socks. I absolutely love it. So I've got this one is almost completely done except for the grafting now. And then the other one, if you recall, I have to take that one apart. I have to do a little sock surgery because I misaligned myself. I didn't pay attention to the graph. But these are absolutely stunning. I love this pattern. I love all of these words that she has on these socks. I just think they just bring me joy. They bring me joy just to work on them, bring me joy to wear them. I can't wait to wear them. And
yeah, they're gorgeous.
I knit these using all of the stroll from Knit Picks, all of the bright colors. There's a little bit of glitter in, they call it the glimmer. This is the least glimmer color they have because I've used their glimmer before and there's lots of glimmer. This gray, very little glimmer, but just enough to give you a little sparkle. And then the cream color is not stroll. It's Sockies by Lion Brand and a discontinued color. So don't get too excited, but I love these socks. So my goal, I started these in January and I was basically doing kind of a stripe a month. Now, I will say that the next time I do Advent socks, I won't do a stripe a month. I will just keep working and do a couple of stripes a month on one sock, finish it, start the second sock, because I was having to take them off needles, move them onto different needles, and then cutting the cream because I only had one little ball of that I was working on. So I made them into a more fiddly job than they should have been, but I couldn't love these more. I think these are just absolutely gorgeous. So that I will have the other one finished. My goal was to have it finished early in December. So we're just starting into November tomorrow. Can you believe it? And so I'll have the other one fixed and finished hopefully by the end of the month so that I'll get to wear them for all of December.
Yep.
So nice.
So,
and the pattern is from our friend Natalie, who is Remembrances Pottery. And we just love the socks. Love the socks. So it was really fun. And she does come out with Advent socks every year. But for me, I just find December's get a little busy, and I don't have that time commitment to do a little something every day in December. So I've decided I would start them in January, and I think I'm going to start another pair this January coming, and have another Christmas pair for next year, or maybe to give away to somebody else.
Yeah, I know I have to get, so I don't have the Advent ones, but I love the ones, the very first ones that she did that were the ones with all the trees all over them.
Trees, yeah. And
I
you
can't
could do
remember
the
what was the
glitter
name of it,
snow.
Natalie. Was it Snowy Woods or?
No, not Snowy Woods. It was Nightfall or no.
I don't know.
Snowfall.
Anyway, I have to get them out. I love them. So
yes, so pretty. So pretty.
Okay, so my last, Tree Farm.
No, that's not the one
Yes,
you're thinking
it is. Of. Oh no, that's what Kim said. I don't know. I thought that was that it was what words.
No, it's something about evening or snowfall or.
No, not that. The one with the trees on it.
Oh, okay. It is the one then.
Trees. It is
I thought you were talking about the little cabin. Wasn't there a cabin scene with trees?
Yes. No, well, those are nice too, but I'm talking about the Tree Farm ones.
Okay.
With all the trees on it.
Tree Farm. Yes. Thank you.
Because I did 2 pair of those. One for Jacqueline that had the mohair in with all the snowy trees. And I know she loves wearing them when it gets to December too. So
yes.
But yeah, so check out Natalie's patterns. They're gorgeous. And you could start now and still have a pair you've got a whole month of November. You could still have a pair for wearing in December.
You could. You absolutely could. Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So my last project that I actively worked on this week, and I know Sarah asked if I'd started any roll legs, and I have not, Sarah, because I have not had time. So I am working on my calabash sweater, and I am split for the sleeves, and I've got this much done of the body. So I'm still loving it. I do love it. It's just now I'm in the boring part. So the boring part's good for when I'm watching TV or whatever, and it's fine. And I do like this yarn knitting with it, but that's why I have to do the hat or something else, because it's, I just have to get something else in there that's a little bit different than just plain stocking stitch.
Yes.
So you can see that this is reverse stocking stitch that is in between, but you actually turn your work and you knit it inside out. Well, I don't knit. I'm still knitting it actually like this, but I'm knitting it like from the back side. So I'm actually knitting, but this is your right side. So I am helical knitting, just as easy, if not easier to do when you're doing it this way. You just keep your yarn at the front, and then when you get to move it, you just move it to the back. The top part, the amount of yarn, this is the Knitting Loft Care, and this is the colorway Baby Doll. It only used 1/3 of a skein to do this whole yoke.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have 2/3 of that skein left. And I did, when I got down into here where you kind of end some of these columns, I did do the ladder back jacquard. So I kind of want to show you what it looks like, in the fact that you can, like, this is, I don't know if you can see that, but I can put my finger right in there.
Yes.
Underneath those stitches, but they're joined by one stitch. So you don't have a big loose strand. And then when you do the very last stitch, you just kind of knit it, or in this case, purl it together with the other stitch, but it goes in behind. So it really does mean you're not catching floats. Well, you are catching it, but you're not catching it attached to the fabric. You've kind of got this second floating layer at the back. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I really liked doing that. And I will link the tutorial, because someone had asked me this week too, that was actually testing this as well. And the tutorial that I always look at when I'm doing ladder back is by Suzanne Bryan. And I find it really super easy, straight to the point. And the only thing you've got to remember when you're doing it on reverse stocking stitch is where you're going to have your yarn, because your carrying yarn's always going to be at the back of your work. So that may not be your stockinette or your reverse stockinette. It just depends on what the right and wrong side of your fabric is. Mm-hmm. So that's all the difference is going to be between doing regular stockinette or reverse stockinette, is whether you have that yarn at the front or at the back. So you don't see any of the places where you've carried it from the front side of your work. So, and it's super easy to set up, and it's super easy to resolve when you're done with it. It's actually easier than catching floats. So anyway, like it's sometimes I think, I know it took me a long time to try it because I thought, oh, that sounds scary. I don't know if I can do it. It sounds like too much work. But once you do it, it's so easy. You'll be looking for places to put it into your other projects.
It's like everything
So,
else in knitting. The only thing holding us back is our own fear of something. It's
yeah.
usually quite easy once we dig into it, but it takes, you know, a minute to get your head set around it.
Yeah. So this pattern is Calabash, and it is by Beth McDonald Stone. And I just need to find my banner. Okay, and the main yarn in this is Full Moon Fibers. It is their 100% non-superwash Rambouillet. It feels amazing. I didn't do any search on Rambouillet sheep. I'll save that for another episode. But it feels amazing. This is the color Freshwater, and again, I am alternating skeins. This yarn is like 250 yards or meters for 50 grams. It's so lofty. It just feels amazing. And I just love the way it works with the sheen and the Knitting Loft's care. So really happy with how that's coming along. And I'm going to be doing another test for Beth. So I got to get the ones that I'm already working on done.
I know. I'm going to do that one too. I really am. I am excited for that sweater for sure.
So yeah, so Beth's got amazing patterns. I've knit quite a few of them and I love them. So
it was so much fun to meet Beth at Rhinebeck too.
Mm-hmm.
She's exactly like I thought she'd be.
Yep. Yep. So, and that's it.
No, I'm knitting on something else too, but I just wanted to go.
Well, that's it for me.
Okay. I wanted to just go back and answer this one question. Anne had asked about our video on knitting math. That was last week. And Noelle did a sort of in-depth conversation with supporting not a graph. Gosh, you had a screen share up there of showing how your
time stamped it, right?
Yes, and it's time stamped, so you could go back to last week to see that. But in the meantime, I do see that Sarah has helped you out with an answer there. And I also wanted to say, happy anniversary, Elizabeth! 53 years. Wow. That's epic. That's absolutely epic. Congratulations. And on Halloween night too.
Hey, Halloween was a day that Ross asked me to marry him.
Was it?
Yes, that's because he wanted it to be a surprise, and he thought I would not ever be expecting it on Halloween, and I wasn't. So
no, that's right.
So
okay, the last thing that I was working on, I think last week I was working my way down the leg, and it's just a sock pattern that I've made up. So there is no pattern. I've just put a nice fat little cable in there to highlight it. I'm using yarn from Full Moon Fibers. It's called Treed Up Land. I love this colorway. And so what I did this time is I put a shadow wrap heel in because I didn't want this to have a contrast heel. I wanted it to have the same yarn. And this yarn doesn't really it's not really going to be disrupted by putting a heel in the way sometimes, when you have color pooling, it will be disrupted if you use that yarn for the heel. So this was not the case. So I did a shadow wrap heel, and I must say too, I think the best tutorial anyway that I have found for the shadow wrap heel, if you're so inclined to learn that method and you haven't yet, is Denise, Earth Tones Girl. She does a very in-depth explanation. And the reason we like the shadow wrap as opposed to, well, for me, as opposed to just the German short row, because it looks identical on both sides. Whereas the German short row heel, when you do that on the one side, it looks slightly different. It has like these, and I don't want to use the word holes because it doesn't really make holes, but it definitely creates a difference from one side to the other. So that's just something that kind of messes with me and my need to have everything symmetrical. So the shadow wrap heel looks the same on both sides, and she does a great job explaining it. And then she even goes into further detail, and she explains like how to do it if you want with a contrasting yarn, or there's a couple of things that she does in there that really, really explain the process well. So highly recommend that you would go and check that out if that's a heel that you haven't tried yet and you'd like to. So
Okay, I'll link that in the notes too.
yeah, that's super pretty sock yarn. The girls
and I know there were questions in here tonight about like how to post photos into Ravelry. We have questions about like the type of heels to do. We are planning, and probably won't get to it till the new year, but we are planning. We do have a website, and we are planning on updating it and adding a lot of those things to kind of like our favorite tutorials for specific techniques, and actually putting them all so that you can actually go in and just access them from the website. So hopefully we've been pretty busy. So hopefully in the wintertime, things will slow down a bit, and we will have more time to kind of put some of that together and get it onto a website and kind of have everything all in one place, so that we're not saying, okay, go back to this video or go back to that video. And hopefully we'll have everything all linked on our website, which
like
will
a
make it
master
lot easier.
page where you could just go down the list and say, oh, I was wondering this, this, and this. So yeah, just to make things a little bit easier, both for you and us.
Yeah.
I mean, we will still continue to link things from week to week, but as far as us trying to remember which episode we talked about it, that's the tricky part.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So did you buy anything?
Heck no, I did not.
Well, I just ordered my tags. That's all. I didn't get them yet, but I just ordered my tags.
Haven't even cataloged and put away the stuff I've bought in the last few weeks.
I don't think I've cataloged and put away stuff that I bought in the past year.
I had cleaned up though. I had thought I had caught up, but there was one other thing that I was gifted to that was still packed away, but now it's out. And I was gifted a sweater's quantity of this stunning yarn. This is the Cicero, and the colorway is Plum Agate. And I love everything about this yarn. It's just beautiful. And I used the Cicero to make my Cravat by Caitlin Hunter. And the Cicero yarn, it has this beautiful, like you can see the sheen in that.
Yeah, I know, it's gorgeous. Yep.
It is made up of 25% linen. So the drape on this is stunning. 25% merino, and then 50% silk. That's what the sheen is coming from. So it is classed as a DK sport. So I would call it a lighter DK at 325 yards in a 100 gram skein. So it's just a beautiful, beautiful yarn. We bought ours at Elgin Knits in Chicago when we were there. And then we went back a year later to the mini meetup and we bought more. I think everything else she had there. She said that it had not been a super popular yarn for her. We were shocked because we both loved our projects. And so then this year we ended up buying the color that each of us bought the last year. So now we're going to end up with all of our projects the same colors, but it'll be different projects. But this is just absolutely stunning. I love it. So I'll have to think up something really nice to make that into. But so that's all I got that was new this week. Okay. Yes, this week.
And we did want to mention too that Little Red Mitten, which is our local yarn store, they are having a pop-up shop by, is it a Wanderer and her yarn?
Yes.
I meant to look that up. I couldn't remember if it was a Wanderer and her flock or a Wanderer and her yarn.
I think that's right.
Okay. Anyway, I will post that as well.
Maybe Julia or Sarah can help us out, but we'll put a link into it. Julia says yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a Wanderer and her yarn, and that will be, I believe it's this Saturday.
Yes.
At Little Red Mitten, which is in St. Thomas. So if you're in the area or you live in the area or you want to make a short car ride, day trip to go to it, well worth the visit. And Little Red Mitten is a beautiful store.
And they're going to be having pop-ups, I think, every other weekend now through into December. So we will keep you posted on what they, I mean, they also have a newsletter, so don't depend on us. Sign up
I
for
know.
their
I
newsletter.
know I can't. I have to watch Penelope this weekend, so I can't go. But
Yes, but definitely sign up for their newsletter so that you stay in touch with what they have going on in the store. They have a lot going on, and their newsletter is a good newsletter.
Yeah. And every time they have a pop-up, it's always fun because there's so many people there and you're talking to other knitters. And Sarah says that she says that the Wanderer and her yarn knitter colors are really beautiful. So there's always, it's nice to go in and check out something new that you haven't seen before. And
you won't leave empty-handed, friends. You won't. You just won't. That's for sure. So
maybe I'll take Penelope with me.
Maybe. A question asking, have either of us have ever made the soldatna? You have. I
have. Yes, I have. And I haven't worn it a lot. I think one of the reasons is I have worn it a few times, but it's in a heavier DK weight yarn. And the sleeves are just like here. So it's kind of like too hot just to wear as a short sleeve tee. And then I just don't think of wearing it in the winter because it's got short sleeves. But I have worn it a couple of times with just a t-shirt underneath it. So I think I may do that again, but I haven't gotten used to that yet. But maybe with getting into the vest now, maybe I might wear it more this year. But I know that if I do like a DK or heavier weight and it's got short sleeves, I'm not going to wear it because it's too hot for short sleeve weather unless you put something else underneath it. So, or maybe I don't think I have enough yarn. Maybe I'd make it again and do it long sleeved. So I don't
rewind that when Noelle says she doesn't think she has enough yarn.
I don't have enough yarn in that base to do long sleeves for that one. So I definitely do have enough yarn.
Here too from Cyrita.
Oh, that's too bad.
Who we got to meet at Cakepalooza this year. Lovely to meet you. And yes, she says Poppy's Pom Pom announced that they are going out of business. And she says, while it is quite sad, they are having a great sale. I still have some. I got some in Montreal as well, the same as Isabel. I know you've used yours in some socks. And
I've used in 2 pairs of socks, and I still have more than half of the ball left.
It just goes on forever. Yes.
Yep. So that's where we got our Samoyed yarn. So it's got the Samoyed dog fur spun with the merino. So and it makes a really, really warm yarn.
And they just get fluffier as you wear them too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
okay.
So I guess today is the 31st. So our month or our year long, but we give prizes monthly for our sock along will be ending today. So get any of your socks in there. All you have to do is finish them. We will have prizes
midnight
for
tonight, our time.
Yes. We will have prizes for them next week for October. And then we've also got our Smash That Stash going on. All you have to do is use yarn that you've had before January the 1st, 2023, and use at least 50 grams. And we do a prize each quarter and a grand prize. So we still have a year-end prize, and we've got a quarter-end prize at the end of December. And our Burra Cal or Marie Wallen or Susan Crawford pattern, that's going on till the end of December, and we'll have prizes for that into the new year. So, and we should say, we've also started talking about our Christmas PJ party.
Yes, we have.
So again, it's that time of year where we want you to take a picture of yourself knitting in your pajamas and send it to us so we can put together the Christmas party little video montage of everybody. And we get a chance to actually see what some of you look like.
Yes. So that's the best part, in your PJs.
That's right. That's right. So,
and so does the rest of the internet world.
Yeah. We are.
There's no names. We should. Okay.
Well, first names. If you don't want your name on it, tell us you don't want your name on it.
Yes.
And we'd only put first names anyway.
Yes. No, people are not going to come knocking on your door when they find you in your PJs and hunt you down.
Okay, but we do want appropriate PJs. This is a family-friendly show.
Yes, Isabel. Appropriate PJs only this year. And Marianne too, with her George Costanza PJs. Yes. So if you are wondering what we're talking about, you could go back to it shows that it's a PJ party, and it's on our regular knit chat night, but it's the night, the Tuesday night that's between Christmas and New Year. So this year it happens to fall on Boxing Day. Is that what you said, Noelle?
Yep.
And so it's where we are visited out, we are dressed out from the holiday parties, and we just get together in our PJs
and drink. Well, we have a little bit of champagne or Prosecco.
Yes, but it's really just, and we hope that you're all sitting in your homes. I mean, heck, you might be sitting in your PJs right now. Who knows? But anyway, it's just a little bit of fun, and we call it our PJ party.
Yep.
And so what we ask
usually have
from
a few
you,
prizes and some giveaways.
Yes.
Just little fun
we try
things,
to clean out the prize bin for the year. And but yeah, so get someone to take a photo of you knitting in your PJs. Our favorite thing to knit in, you know that. And you can just send it in to our email address. And I'm going to find that right now for you. Sorry. Knits and Pieces. Stop that. Knits and Pieces podcast at gmail.com. Send in the photo, and I will compile that into a little slideshow that we play on PJ night. And don't worry, we will remind you of this again too as we work our way through. The cutoff for the photos will likely be about a week before Christmas, because if all goes well, I'll be traveling over Christmas. And so this is something that I want to get taken care of before I leave. So hopefully we had a lot of people join in last year. And then we even had people say, oh gosh, now I wish I had joined in. They were thinking they don't want to send a picture of themselves in pajamas to two strange ladies on the internet that they don't even know. But then they saw the video and they thought, oh heck, why didn't I do that? And it was really nice. It was really fun from our point of view to get the pictures and for me just to put this into music, and then yes, get to see some faces. And
we will not give your pictures to any other solicitors.
No, absolutely not. No, we promise we won't.
We're just posting them here on the internet for everybody to see.
Yes. But, okay. I'm just reading the last of the comments.
Yeah, so we hope that that everybody joins in for that. So we'll remind you over the next few weeks to get your pictures in, and Kelly will work on putting that together. And yeah, we'll look forward to that. It's always kind of like a nice kind of relaxing day in between when Christmas is over, and I'll have to go look for some new pajamas this year. So, and then I'm all ready for bed already by the time we're done.
That's right. That's the bonus, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Oh, Isabel now says that wine was involved in the taking of last year's picture that she sent us, but no, I wouldn't have guessed that, Isabel. Wouldn't have guessed at all. But it's been really cool because a couple of those pictures, some of you we've met after that, and I knew exactly who you were just from that Christmas picture. That was Isabel, because we saw her at Knit Night in Montreal, and as soon as I saw her, I'm like, that's that lady in those PJs. I know who that is. That's Isabel. And we can't be the only people that, you get to know what we look like. We need to see what you look like too. So don't be shy. Join in and send us your photo. It's just a lot of fun. Okay.
So happy Halloween to everybody. And we hope that you all have an amazing week. Thanks for joining us here in the Knit Chat Cafe. And we'll see you all next week. Happy knitting.
And happy Halloween. Even though you didn't like the witchy photo that I posted today, I thought it was cute. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.